Well, we need to talk really quick about what our mothers didn't tell us about aging, or our grandmothers or our aunts. And all of a sudden, we hit the age 50 and it feels like everything is falling apart. If you hear my dog panting, he's laying right here. It's so hot in Arizona right now. So that's him. Well, I thought I would talk about this because if you're younger than me, if you happen to stumble upon this, like you're in your 30s and 40s, then this is a really enlightening video for you. But if you're over the age of 50, like you get it. And isn't it wild that no one told us about this? Okay. Where to begin, right? Where to begin? Well, let's start head to toe. So, one thing, and especially for me, because I am over the age of 50, no one told me about all the hair loss. Now, I don't have a thyroid condition. The only thing is hormonal changes. It's very similar, like, when you have kids and your hair just, when you're pregnant for that 9 months, at least for me, my hair got so thick and healthy. I loved my hair so much. And it lasted a few months after, and then it all just kind of fell out. Well, you hit menopause. Oh my gosh. So now I'm dealing with hair loss. And I think I've talked about that on my other channel before, but that's one of the ones. I don't know. So I'm doing all I can right now. And by the way, a lot of you have given me such good suggestions, but I've tried it all. I've tried the B vitamins and the biotin and optimizing thyroid and hormones. And, it's still real thin. But again, I'm thankful. I still have some left. And okay, the next thing, right? I guess I kind of already knew, like when you're younger, you want to get as healthy as you can because being in healthcare, I've seen what bone loss can do to women. I see the women that are hunched over and they can't straighten their back, and I mean, the wind blows the wrong way and they fall and they get a fracture. I did already know about that, and so even in my 20s, I really started trying to work out regularly, almost every day, and I really cleaned up my diet and tried to eat better. Yeah, there's still days when I'll have pizza, but completely. There's just no more soda in my life at all. I do not do sugary sodas. It's not worth it. Plus now I feel so sick after. You just get to a point. There's certain foods that used to enjoy. Like I used to really like ice cold Coca-Cola in the summer. I can't do that anymore at all. So now I just do like right here. This is just a bubbly water, a sparkling water, ice cold. It's so good. But the bone health thing, and really, depending on your genetics, like with me, I'm having more disc issues. It's not so much knees and hips, but it's my spine. And, it could just be years of lifting and turning people being in healthcare. And if you're in healthcare, you know what I mean. But no one really went over, like when we were younger, like really be careful lifting that because later in life, you're going to have disc issues. I tell my kids that now. I tell them like, bend your knees when you're lifting, and especially these young people doing these deadlifts in the gym and they think they're it's like, oh, what you're doing to your back. You have no idea. Okay. So that's one of them. Now we're going to get a little personal here. Nobody tells us that our pelvic area, our private parts, the parts that were really important to have a family, right? And still are important so you don't get urinary tract infections and bladder infections and whatnot. But nobody tells us what goes on there, right? For women, oh my gosh. And I'm telling you, being in healthcare for decades, I guess, did I miss that class where they talked about this? Everything shrinks. It shrinks and it goes away. And it closes. Did you know that? Yeah. If you're over 50 like me, you do know this. But if you're younger, oh my gosh, I'm telling you now, yes, your private parts will literally shrink and disappear. Yeah. So the importance, like I tell my patients now, we know how safe with all these studies coming out that estrogen is. And even if they're worried about doing regular hormonal replacement therapy, just like a little bit of estriol, the really gentle protective hormone, just a little bit of that in that department can really help protect women against urinary tract infections, pain, dryness, some of the shrinkage. And because a lot of older women do get septic from urinary tract infections, bladder infections, kidney infections, and that's how they leave this world from that. And so estrogen can really protect the urogenital tract. And so I think that's really, really important. But just the fact that it can close up too. Yeah. So where, I always see these movies and TV shows where these couples and these married couples are just having a really healthy, romantic, physically active life, if you know what I mean. And not trying to dance around the subject. Okay, they're having a very healthy sexual life on TV and in movies. I have to tell you, I talk to my friends, I talk to my patients. That is not real life. It is not real life because men change too. Men have issues with their circulation, their blood pressure, their heart disease, and all that circulation affects their plumbing as well. And so they may have difficulty in that department. So, but then women, if it like you don't lose it. No, if you're not using it, you lose it, right? It's true. So some women can shrink and atrophy so much in the vaginal vault that it literally closes up. Yeah. And so OBGYNs and people that specialize in that, they have to make certain little devices to kind of help open it up again. And, they have to put them on steroids and, hormonal creams and whatnot to kind of bring life back. But then there's lichen sclerosis where the tissue gets plaques on it, gets shrunken a little bit hard. And that's actually a precancer. And so that actually is very serious and that needs treatment so it doesn't get worse. But who talked about that when we were in our 20s? Yeah, no. And when, again, I'm thinking about in school, we would talk about all that stuff, but we never really talked about like it can close up, shrink up, and literally disappear. Like one day it looks like this, and the next day you're like, what happened to my private parts? I'm serious. And I thought, if no one's talking about this, I just had to put it out there. Now, most of the people that watch my channel are over 50, and isn't that wild? Yeah. So when I see all these TV shows of all these, like, I think there was that one Jane Fonda was in, and in the show, she's in her 70s and she's dating people and they're having this active sex life. And I'm like, yeah, right. That is more rare than it is common. And I think that there's a real world reason for that because I don't think as humans, we were designed to have relations all the way until the end because, you're designed to have that so you can have children. And then we're meant to move on into a different phase of life where we're giving advice, we're wise, we're helping watch grandchildren, we have careers. There's a lot of wisdom with moving into that third phase of life, right? And so don't feel bad. Like sometimes my friends and I talk about that. Like, are we the only ones like that have noticed like changes in our physiology and in our physicality? No, it's more common than people think. And a lot of men don't talk about it either. I think they're embarrassed. They want to act like they're still virile and all that, when, many times there's just no activity going on and they compensate with just talking the big talk, or other things when it's like, yeah, there's nothing going on. And that is serious too in men because it could be a signal of like if they can't perform, then there is poor circulation going on. They should get their blood pressure checked. They should get is there blockages in the vessels around the heart because everything's connected. Yeah. So I thought that was really good to talk about. I mean, we all knew we were going to get wrinkles and our skin was going to sag. Like I knew that was going to happen. And you see people walking around with walkers and canes and we saw that as kids and we knew that could happen. But this other stuff, nobody talks about that. Yeah. So comment if you've experienced that and it kind of shocked you and surprised you, right? But there is treatment. There is. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be scary. Okay, I wanted to talk about that today. All right, comment below. Thanks for being here.